So I call the member for Shell Harbour, an opposition whip.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to express my disgust this government's continuing contempt for the residents of Dapto. Almost a month ago now, this government made an announcement that they are potentially going to build a prison at the site of Kembla Grange, just across the road from a brand new housing development in West Dapto. Speaker, this announcement was shockingly scant on detail. At the time, the member for Kiama promised community consultation to every resident of West Dapto and the surrounding areas. Yet, here we are nearly a whole month later and we still don't know anything more about this proposal. We are still completely in the dark about what this facility would mean for the local community. The idea that this government can propose something like this, then not give the community the information that they are asking for, is insulting. We still don't know the size of the facility that's being proposed, its scope, its classification, the expected construction costs, who will operate the facility, or how many jobs will be created on this site. Last week I called on the Minister and the Parliamentary Secretary for the Illawarra to announce community information sessions to be held during May so that the local community would have a forum in which they can talk to the member and the government about their concerns in person. Speaker, we need to get every stakeholder and every resident in the same room at the same time voicing their opinions. It's the only way to ensure that the entire community is on the same page. I thought that the end of this month was a reasonable enough deadline for the government to stop its paper shuffling and to actually come out and talk to the local community. But instead, the member for Kiama came out yesterday and said that the government will not be holding further community consultation until the end of June. Speaker, the end of June is nearly 3 months since the announcement was first made. That's simply not good enough. And to add insult to injury, the member for Kiama announced that the government will only be holding drop-in centres open for a total of 9 hours, 2 of which are on weekdays between 9 to 5. No evening sessions have been announced for commuter residents, which effectively could exclude them from voicing their opinions. There's also been no mention of how the government plans to notify the residents about these drop-in centres. It's like the government doesn't want people to actually be able to access them and have their questions answered. I don't know where this government got its idea of community consultation from, but it sounds like a complete sham to me. Leaving the community in the lurch for nearly 3 months since the initial announcement is simply not acceptable, and neither is the fact that after this 3-month wait that the consultation local residents will receive will consist of some pamphlets on a trestle table in Dapto Square for a few hours. Speaker, usually you can't get the member for Kiama away from a photo op or a chance to big note himself in front of the community. But on this one, the member for Kiama has been as quiet as a mouse and no one has seen him. It's a little bit slack for somebody who's supposed to be the government spokesperson in our region. If the member for Kiama really cared about every resident in our region, not just those in his own electorates, he would be fighting for real community consultation and not at the end of June, in May. He would be out there giving the community information that they are asking for and answering their questions rather than announcing a couple of drop-in sessions nearly in 2 months' time. Speaker, this series of events screams of an incompetent government who have no idea what they're doing. A government that clearly couldn't care less about facing up to the good people of West Dapto and Kembla Grange and the legitimate questions that they have about this proposal. Speaker, those opposite are scrambling. They don't want the community asking questions because they don't yet have the answers. Speaker, I am sick and tired of this government always giving the Dapto area the short end of the stick. And I can stand in this place with my hand on my heart and say that I will absolutely not be standing for one bit of it.